People who ask me about visiting China, for instance, I tell them to go visit Taiwan before it was destroyed by the communists over in mainland China. You can see real Chinese culture in Taiwan. Temples and dragons and tradition. Then you go to Taiwan. It's still all there. To the people who say Taiwan is a part of China, I would ask you this. Why does it have a different government? Why does it have a different currency? Why does it have a different passport? Why does it have a different culture? Why does it have a different society? And why are the people so different? Of course, it's a different country. It was the result of a civil war, and some people went there and some people stayed there. And you know what? Taiwan developed into its own thing, went through its own trials and tribulations, and turned out to be what it is today. Very advanced as far as technology is concerned, a very unique culture and democracy. And that is something very separate from mainland China, which basically just wallowed in its terrible chaos for so long until finally opening up to the rest of the world and doing its own thing. But it's got nothing to do with Taiwan. As far as I'm concerned, Taiwan will always be its own country, and it has its own leaders and its own way of life. There are a couple of reasons why Taiwan is so important in 2021. Number one, of course, the chip manufacturing, which everyone relies on. Taiwan is the world leader when it comes to chip manufacturing, and from that point of view, it's very important. But also, the world can learn a lot from Taiwan on how to deal with the COVID pandemic, which came out of Wuhan. The way Taiwan dealt with it and is still dealing with it is still the best in the entire world as far as I'm concerned. They've been hit the least. They've managed to stave off the infections and stave off the pandemic. So everyone should look to Taiwan as an example of how to deal with the pandemic. Do I think that mainland China will invade Taiwan? Honestly, personally, I can't guarantee either way, but I'm leaning more towards no. And the reason I say that is it would be the biggest mistake China has ever made, because they will be rattling a hornet's nest and they will have the entire world against them. Don't forget that although the rest of the world has more or less been forced to not recognize Taiwan, they still have allies. And allies in the free world, so the USA, etc., and they will come to the aid of Taiwan. And China won't like that very much. Why did I stay in China for so long and not run away to Taiwan? I tell you what, if I could start over, I would have gone to Taiwan. I had just established myself, and it had been an incredibly hard journey to establish myself in mainland China. And the thought of having to start again from scratch is kind of what kept me from going to Taiwan. China has always been more of a Wild West, chaotic sort of adventure. And that's another reason I was there, to explore and to make videos and show the world what I was seeing. And I wanted to go to Taiwan, but at the end of the day, I realized that if I went to Taiwan, I would lose everything that I'd worked so hard to establish. That's what kept me from going, really. I absolutely do plan to come to Taiwan in the future, and once the world has more or less normalized and come to terms with dealing with this pandemic that came out of Wuhan, I will, and I'm sure my business partner Seamilk will want to come. My wife definitely wants to as well. And we'll be coming to visit fairly often, hopefully, because it really is the heart of Asia, really, and my favorite place in Asia. It's kind of almost a tie. I mean, when it comes to going to visit a place, Japan is on the top of my list. But if I were to go and stay in a place in Asia for any length of time, any period of time, more than, say, a week or so, definitely Taiwan would be my number one choice. I have a message to the Taiwanese people. Keep being who you are. I've never met a more polite, helpful, and decent group of people. I absolutely have enjoyed every single time I've visited Taiwan. It's such a good mix of everything that's good about Asia. And I can't wait to see you all again soon. And of course, stay awesome.